Hello and welcome to AP Human Geography here with Mr. Bidwell. I'm going to walk you through some content and the layout of the course for AP Human Geography. Before you see on this window right here of this presentation, you see several texts that will be involved in this course. This year, with great news from our district, we have a new AP college textbook, which is a 13th edition of Rubenstein. And that will be downloaded electronically on the first day of class. For those that are in VLA, the instructions will be on my Schoology webpage. We'll be using that textbook through the course of the year. However, it is not the only textbook for which content comes from for the class. They'll come from a variety of other texts that are displayed right here. When we look at this is just an assignment. We won't do that. This is a college norm class, so it is rigorous. It's difficult, and students tend to struggle. But in the end, there seems to be tremendous growth and tremendous feedback from former students. And I just want you to think back to some of your best teachers who you've had. Are they the ones that have let you coast and not hold you accountable? Or are they teachers that took you to places you have never been before? In other words, teachers that have pushed you and made you a better person. I hope the latter of the two sits with most of you, and I hope that everybody enjoys this amazing ride that we're about to start. And obviously, with the COVID restrictions, it's going to be somewhat an abbreviated class, and I'll try to highlight those through the presentation. There are the textbooks that we'll be using. It's actually the 13th edition. We'll also look through the Kaplan, which is not listed there. The Kaplan textbook as well. Study of human geography, what is it? You can go ahead and pause the video if you want to read through what's quoted by Charles Gritzner, who is a South Dakota State University professor. The syllabus is actually been updated again. It's 2020 syllabus. This will be found on my Schoology webpage under the white folder called the resource folder. We have classroom rules. So when in class, our focus is to create an optimal learning environment. So please adhere to the following expectations. And again, stop the video at any time. And again, this class is very different than a middle school class. This class, again, is a college norm class. So the performance and ability is graded. It's not the effort necessarily. Effort does help, but it's going to be the ability or performance that's graded, and you'll see that with the reflection of grades in the grade book. And with that, there is the caveat that summative retakes with remediation work will be accepted in this class, especially with units covering a shorter period of time. When we're looking at trimester 1, we're going to be covering 3 units in this, 5 chapters, 3 units in the span of 6 weeks. So we're going to be moving faster than a traditional AP Human Geography class. So retakes will be a part of that with the remediation work. The remediation work typically stems from, again, within this short time frame, they'll have to complete all their assignments for that unit. They'll have to complete the test review, and they'll have to complete the unit quizzes that are provided on Schoology. That will be the remediation work that will give them a ticket to retake a test that was below a B- or 80%, which is marked as the threshold for the social studies department. Essential skills that we will be working on through the course of the year. Again, all these skills will be found on your AP College Board webpage or webpage, your own account where you'll access all the AP material for this class and other AP classes throughout high school. They'll highlight more than the information I have, more information than what I have listed here. Some of the skills that you can see right here will be embedded through the course of the next 6 weeks. Assessments, we have the formative assessments, which right now, the way I have it planned in the class is going to be for the abbreviated 6-week class. Formative assessments will be maps and reading guides. and maybe some projects, and possibly some additional readings outside of the Rubenstein text. However, I have omitted the article analysis. So again, the main bulk of homework is going to be reading guides and maps, or covering key issues, which are called reading guides and maps. Summative assessments are 90%. The first summative assessment, due to COVID restrictions, will be just the multiple choice test for Unit 1. Each subsequent unit, Unit 2 and Unit 3A, will involve a multiple choice test, which is going to be, tests are going to be between 50 to 70 questions, and the FRQs are a written response. And this is an open-ended question. It's called free response question. It's an open-ended question where they receive a prompt and a series of embedded questions that need to be answered using human geographical content. And that will start with Unit 2, and again, will follow with every other unit covered in the class throughout the year. This replicates the AP exam. The AP exam has two prongs. One is the multiple choice test, which is 50% weighted of their AP exam, and then the other 50% is the FRQ, the free response question. So again, through the course, we will cover each unit replicating the AP exam. There are effective studying strategies that have been put together by past students. This again will be found under the resource folder for AP Human Geography. Here's a list of some of the strategies that students have said. And again, this information can be found on the resource folder. The handbook on plagiarism indicates the following. So it's important that you do your own work. And that means when you do your reading guides, when you do your tests, as well as doing your maps, you do that authentically by yourself, whether you're a VLA student or a hybrid student. And this will help better predict how well you'll do on the AP exam. Most students that try to find the easy way out or cheat are the ones that do not excel on the AP exam. Key dates will always be on Schoology calendar. For the next 6 weeks, you'll have all the key dates listed for all assignments. The AP registration, they want it in by this November 2020. Sorry, I didn't update that. And they want it in by November 2020, and the instructions on how to register for the AP Human Geography exam in November. It's actually November 5th. And we're actually going to push for a late test date, so it's looking more like the third week of May. All that information, how to register, is on my Schoology webpage. I believe it's the third link down. I can just pull up the webpage and see if it populates. So here we have the registration for the Pearson online text, registration for the AP College Board website, and then you have your registration for the AP exam. And then you can see over here is where all assignments will populate. You click this icon right there. It'll show you the calendar for all the due dates of assignments in the class. The assignments in the class are basically going to be two assignments that will help deliver the main content of the class. One is going to be an Edpuzzle video with embedded formative quizzes, and the second is going to be reading guides that go along with the 13th edition Rubenstein online text. And then with that, I will cover about 4 maps for every 6-week hex semester. So we'll cover 4 maps this hex semester, 4 maps in 2.2, and then 4 maps in 3.2. All right, and you can see the units that we're going to be covering here in hex semester 1.2. You have Unit 1. Unit 1, you have subfolders. When you click on it, it will always be blue. When you see the subfolders populate, you see presentations. So the presentations are going to be marked right here with the only presentation listed. And then I did put a presentation on reviewing for maps in latitude and longitude. But that will be these will be the notes that I narrate in Edpuzzles. So if they ever want to go back and look at the notes, they can click on these notes. There's assignments, and again, the assignments are going to be minimized for this Hexmester. I have a lot of assignments, so I just don't feel like we're going to be covering much other than the main material that's found in both the reading guides as well as in the Edpuzzles, and then occasional reading assignments or projects. All right, and then I mentioned the reading guides, and that's the next subfolder. And the reading guides, again, will be the reading that I anticipate to do in class for the first couple key issues. And then after that, there might be a switch in how that's done within this hybrid model. Again, there is your reading guide right there. Anytime you see this icon right here, it tells you it's an assignment that you'll find over here, populated on the right of your Schoology page, and also in your calendar. And then you have assessments. And all these units will have all these subfolders. And then you have assessments, and assessments are going to encompass the quizzes that I encourage students to do at the end of every chapter. These are not graded. It's just practice quizzes, so students prepare for the test. And then there's also the unit review. And this unit review will be a very helpful tool in preparation for the test. As you see within the parentheses, it's highly recommended. So again, when you click on the test review, it'll be open-ended questions that cover all the content for that unit. And it also has the listed key issue where you would find the answers. All right, so it has listed key issues under each question. All right, and again, those two review strategies will be very helpful and advantageous for students testing well for each unit. And again, these subfolders will be found just like this in every subsequent unit. The black folders indicate that they're not currently covered units. Blue will indicate the current covered unit. This will tell you how much of the AP exam is covered with geography skills, with population and migration, with cultural patterns such as pop culture and language. Then you also have the resource folder, which I mentioned earlier. And the white folder will be resource folder. And in the resource folder, there will be an assortment of listings. There's the syllabus for 2020 found in this folder under AP resources. There's also state standards that I have listed. The national standards I didn't put on here, but you'll see the national standards in your AP College Board webpage. Then you have media bias. However, I don't know if we're going to use that because we use that with our article analysis assignments. And again, helpful map websites. This will be used for completing your maps. Here's an AP book list that gives books if you like to read literature or nonfiction or nonfiction that relates to human geography and the various units we'll cover throughout the year. There's a list, a cumulative list right here on this link. All right, and then attendance for the class, and you'll just click on attendance every day and answer a simple question. Are you here? Reply yes, and if you reply yes, you'll get credit for attending class on that day. All right, moving back to key dates, we can see again, some testimony from previous students. And again, you can find this throughout my presentation that I'll post on in the resources as well. And then I have other students that, again, have offered advice and again, given their testimony and how they benefited from the class and how they saw the class after they had finished. That's everything in a nutshell in the 6 weeks. If you need to get a hold of me, You can do so in a couple different ways. One is if we go back to Schoology, many of the students will use Schoology Messenger. That's one way to get a hold of me. A second way to get a hold of me is my email. And you just type in Eastridge High School, Mr. Bidwell, you find my email. And then a third way of getting a hold of me is by phone. And again, that's listed on the Eastridge High School webpage. And a fourth way is going to be when we have Virtual Fridays. And Virtual Fridays will be using for right now WebEx. However, I might be switching to Google Meet. And the WebEx is going to be found on Schoology. And on Fridays, we'll meet for 45 minutes. And that will be for additional help in the class, or students that have questions can meet me online. Or it can also be for VLA students to get caught up with the week's assignments and curriculum. And that's right here, the WebEx. All right, and that is the class in a nutshell, and please feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. Again, I want to echo the sentiment that I shared at the beginning. I hope we're all in this together and we enjoy the ride here in AP Human Geography. Thank you for your time.